New Eden. A galaxy made up of salt, broken relationships, and the $10 scam. A galaxy where you can get a happy ending, but only if you pay a little extra. A galaxy home to a podcast greater than the Catskill Academy, Trekcast, and Echoes from the Front combined. Live on Discord, it's the Echoes of New Eden podcast. We bring you the finest in little-known facts from around the galaxy since 2020. If it's almost news, we'll cover it. Hello everybody, and this week's episode of Echoes of New Eden is brought to you exclusively here on Discord. We're coming from you live from the Tornos Space Lane Control Center. My name is Rambo, and with me as always is my partners in crime, Taylor, Rick, and Crimson King. Taylor.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good to see this huge crowd we got in the live studio tonight. This is awesome. It's going to be a good time, as always.
Holy smokes, there's a lot of people in here.
Who the fuck is playing Clash of Clans still? Seriously?
Damon is polluting us with these pleb of a game. Plebes of games.
That'll be the next thing everybody leaves for. It won't be Diablo Immortal. It'll be Clash of Clans 2. The Awakening.
The clashingest. Double clash.
Or Boom Beach. Yes, Boom Beach 2. Boom Beach was a go-to for me for about, 2 weeks. And then I just said, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Now,
Didn't they try and diversify with some card game too? Like the
Clash of Clans, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some sort of kind of quasi card game. I don't know.
Clash of Cards.
all right, this is not a mobile game podcast. This is Echoes of New Eden. Eve Echoes only.
Yep.
You don't want to hear about any other games, especially Diablo Immortal. But it's kind of a touchy subject. Or is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think barely anybody plays that game anymore. Anyway. Holy smokes.
It's dead.
We
got quite
the jokes the jokes won't die.
Quite the audience tonight, and we have quite the show. Holy crap. A lot of stuff has happened in the last week. And just to go through a couple of things that we'll be discussing, we're going to be talking about the new record server kill mail that happened just recently, I think last week. And then, or maybe, no, it was before Sunday, so I think it was last week. Then we have a new sponsor for the next game show, so we'll be talking about what we're going to do with the next Eve Echoes related game show here on the podcast. I got some new voicemails, and this time I made sure that you guys were able to hear them before the show started, so there's no more screwing that up. And then we'll talk about some of our other recent content, and then also this new ship that got leaked. We'll be talking about that. I sent that in text to the Alliance. I was like, hey, do you guys see this yet? They're like, what is this?
Concord's
I've never seen this. This was before Benzi's video on it.
It's in the ship tree. Yep, it's in the ship tree right now. The one ship is anyway. There could be 2 more coming with it, but it's in the ship tree right now. Let's see if anybody can find it and post it in the on-air chat.
There you go. And then after the commercial break, we'll be having Zen from SHH on the show. We'll be talking about whatever he's doing nowadays. And then we'll have Bunker Boots from Hell to Pay. We'll be talking about corporation leadership. We'll be talking about corporation leaderboards. And I believe they won the munitions leaderboard, so we'll be talking with him about that. Ooh. Sound good? Sound like a plan?
Oh yeah, ready to rock.
So we'll dive right into the game news and get this over with. So this, and honestly, this was kind of a big surprise to all of us. Was this first one, and that was T4 rigs got dropped. OMG.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
I'm excited for the new content.
This came out of nowhere, basically. Content creators really didn't have any ideas as to when these were going to drop. They've been in the game forever. But as far as being able to manufacture the T4 rigs and be able to sell them, because there are T4 rigs in the game currently. I think you're able to get them through special boxes or something or other. I don't even know if you can trade them. But
I thought there was a special one, like a secret anomaly or something to that effect that you could find them in like loot boxes.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
didn't even know that.
They are out there on the market, or not on the market, but people have them in hand, and I think they could probably put them on the market and make an easy bill. They're going.
Well, you could now for sure.
Yeah,
just dropping them on there would be enough to. You're basically naming the price at this point,
right? Yeah, and
I do like how they're not droppable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like how they're not droppable. That's a reverse engineering thing you have to do. What I don't like is all the shit you have to have for the reverse engineering. Oh my lord!
Yeah,
you have to have T3 rig to start with, and you have to have a couple of T1s and a couple of T2s, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. I forget. There's a bunch of stuff there. So
like a master one that you have to put together with the bits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did some price shopping.
A little much, but
did some price shopping, and they're pretty rare still nowadays. They're up in the billions. Even like minor circulation ones are like 2 billion. It's insane. Yeah, we're gonna start seeing kill mails with those. They're gonna be inflating some kill mail losses, definitely. So,
well, hopefully it means you can finally fit an outpost inside of an Imicus Covert Ops.
That's funny.
With the cargo rig 4s.
Oh, go camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this announcement, they did have their bullet points. They say, in order to control the cost of use and facilitate market distribution, a solution was developed from the same series, the Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 rigs that are in sufficient supply in the market. After extensive invention and experimentation, a viable method for reverse engineering the blueprint of Type 4 rigs was finally obtained. Due to the increasing demand of advanced rigs, the stations have opened up the rig's disassembly service. When fitted, it can be destroyed or disassembled for cost of ISK. Warning, due to the high degree of integration of the rigs into the ship, disassembly is difficult and highly expensive. Dismantling is recommended only when necessary. Okay, cool. So then they did the announcement for the patch notes, and we got some patch notes. I actually didn't have the web page pulled up, but they released they have here a new content, the Rescue Laboratory series missions. Now, Taylor, have you done any of these missions just yet? What are these like?
Rescue Laboratory. Yeah, this is the one where you can get the new drops.
It's an encounter mission that pops up within like one or two of wherever you're stationed, but it's
right.
I've seen, and in the description it talks about like bring a group or you're gonna get
But I can solo it in a battleship, and you don't have to take a carrier. You can solo it in an APOC striker. It also doesn't provide you with hardly. It's bounty-wise, it's like a small T10 anomaly, so it's worthless. And then as far as the drops go, I mean, you can do 2 or 3 of them in a row and barely get any of those new drops, which, God, I forget what those things are called, but they look like Dead Space loot that you would use for nanocores, but I forget what they are. I forget what they're called.
Here in the description, it says, destroy pirates to earn bounties and common modules. After defeating all pirates, you can open the chests they left behind, which may contain data cores, reprocessed materials, rigging experiment data, and experiment secret trafficking containers.
Yeah, it's the stuff you need for the T4 rigs on top of all the blueprint. Yeah, that stuff right there. And it's you give very little. I think I've ran 3 of them so far, and I have 2. I think I have 1 missile experiment data and 1 shield. That's it.
Yeah, I heard that
decomposer. But
yeah, exactly.
I heard
structure.
That
no structure. That'd be better.
I heard that they're not that great, so I haven't even tried dealing with it. Haven't even tried. So,
I can tell you, Prince, why the mock shortage is a thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Talk about that later, yeah. We're gonna fly through some of these here. They have an rig unfitting service. Due to the increasing demand of advanced rigs, rig unfitting service is now available in all stations. During fitting, you may destroy a rig or spend ISK to unfit it. The cost of unfitting rigs is high because it is challenging. Given that the rigs that are highly integrated with the ships, it is recommended to unfit the rigs only when necessary. Okay, cool. I suppose that's people probably enjoy that, even if it did come with a little bit of an ISK cost. I mean, it's whatever. I haven't tried it yet.
What is the ISK
cost?
For doing it, because I think that's only on integrated rigs, right? It's not for regular rigs; it's for integrated rigs. So what's the deal with that? I don't do integrated rigs. I don't know what it costs to try to unfit them. Anybody tried that yet?
Is Maddie in the audience?
I don't do integrated.
That's for gearheads. Like, that is beyond me. Integrated rigs are complicated.
Well, it's something that's complicated. It's just it has certain use cases where it's advantageous, and 90% of them are not. So I don't do it. I don't do it.
That's the kind of deep math puzzle.
$3 billion to unfit them. Holy shit!
$3 billion. $3 billion.
There's no way. Someone I know said it was $3 billion to unfit them. Holy crap! If it's on a $6 billion ship, I guess that's better than insurance fraud, but I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
That's the big oof.
Yeah, Damon, we know you don't have $3 billion in your wallet. You probably don't even have 3 ISK in your wallet right now.
He's like he has 3 ships.
Poor guy's broke. Yeah.
All right,
let's look. He's going to post it.
They have here some limited time items. So the experiment secret trafficking container contains unknown rigging experiment data, reprocessed materials, etc. It's priced at 2 million ISK with a daily purchase limit. They have a new skill point special offer pack, contains insurance points, lucky packs, skill points, and Lazarus units, and that's a weekly purchase limit. And then they have a sneak peek lucky pack, contains 3 experiment secret trafficking containers, 3 secret trafficking decoding credentials, and 1 experiment data opt box, and that's also a weekly purchase limit. They added a couple balance adjustments here, and I already know I'm going to get crap for this. The rocket fuel cache partition, including the capital class, is adjusted.
Oh, Lord.
Their hydraulic bay thruster was adjusted. Their drone range extender is adjusted to increase both optimal and fall-off range. And the fighter range extender is adjusted to increase both optimal and fall-off range. Then they talked about this voyage ceremony, and the registration for that is now open. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And then their optimizations, they updated the estimate prices based on successful transaction in the market. So that was it for their patch notes. Now we'll get to this opening ceremony, and this is kind of the word on the street right now. Like, this is what everybody's kind of talking about. At least a lot of corporate people that I've been talking to with Alliance have been talking about this. And that's the opening ceremony, the Starfaring Festival. So they did a huge announcement about that. They even have their own website. Captain Benzie released a video on kind of like, it had the website and then kind of his thoughts on some of these things that they're going to be adding. So they did, on this second page, they did have some kind of planets here that appear to be some clues as to what we're getting. So we're going to be getting some new gameplay. We don't know what that is necessarily. We're going to be getting a new build-up system. We don't necessarily know what that is. We'll be getting the new
I don't even know what they mean by that.
Right. A new enemy force, and then just more content coming soon. So that was really all that website had. And so I asked Cartley as to if we can get any more information about that stuff. And I guess he said that he'll get back to me at a later time for more info. on specifically, what kind of stuff that we're going to be seeing in some of these, and maybe they'll just release them, day by day. We don't know. So that's one thing. But I think another thing people are really talking about is the corporation, this parade thing, right? What's this called? Was it called a parade?
Right. The voyage to here. I'll pull up the thing where it shows what it is on the actual official media. Starfaring Festival, and the voyage is called. Oh, this should be very easy to tell. Well, this is the actual rules that I got pulled up. Sorry. Deadline for registration is 7/28. Voyage ceremony. It just says voyage ceremony.
Okay. I thought it said something about a parade, but either way. Attention Corp CEOs and directors. Registration for the voyage ceremony will be available soon, and we're inviting all corporations to join this event. ... If you pay 1,000 AUR. I think that's a big
thing.
So expensive.
Well, it's more than that. The CEO and director have to have Omega Clone activated. Over 30% of the corporation's members have to have Omega Clone activated.
Oh yeah.
Established more than 30 days ago. Over 30 active members. There's a little bit there.
Yeah, and only 50 corporations are allowed.
Right.
Well, I don't know how to determine who an active member is either. Because there are folks, is active member, once a month? Is active member once a week? Some of us.
I bet you what they mean by active member is someone who's who's currently Omega and it's and the timer's still running. I bet you that's what they mean.
I hope that's the case, because if it's maybe it's bringing people back who've had Omega running.
Well, I don't think it matters, because there's over 3,000 some odd corporations in this game, and only 50 of them are going to get in.
3,000? No, there's 500,000.
Oh, it's way more than that?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot.
500,000 corporations? Really, that many?
Create a corporation and look at the number. That's how many corporations there are.
Oh, that's true. You can do that. Yep.
There's a lot. And with some of these newer players that create corporations, I've seen them up that high. It's probably even more. It's been a while since I've looked at that last, but it's definitely more probably. So yeah, they have these limitations. What's defined as active? How are they even checking all of these? Are they running IDs of every corp member and say, oh yeah, you do have Omega checkmark, and they just go down the list times 180 or 190, depending on how many you have in your corp. When they're so there's that. But I think more so people are complaining about that AUR cost. Some people are saying it shouldn't cost anything at all. Really, that's the gist of it. Just people pretty mad about that. I mean, I'll be honest, I paid it for my corp just to see what's going to happen. What?
If you got enough folks in your corp, and it sounds like they've got that limit. That's $1 per person potentially. Which
that kind of runs into some interesting. That runs into an interesting thing there, though, right? I mean, if members of the corporation are raising funds to give to their CEO so that their CEO can turn around and pay for it, isn't that real money transaction? I mean, isn't that against their terms of service?
So they're promoting.
What if the CEO is just going to pay it and doesn't ask for anything in return? I'm not asking.
True. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm just saying it's kind of a weird. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to have it to where it's all in game, but it's all in-game currency that you can only get with cash, and it can only come from. Well, they say CEO, but it says right here the CEO and director.
It's basically the same thing. Total. CEO and director is basically the same thing.
One of you must pay.
Yeah.
So
you have to have skill points to participate in the voyage and the parade. That's hysterical. That'd be funny.
You have to have ISK. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So maximum number of participants for the voyage ceremony is 50 corporations. And just from people talking today and people that I've seen say, yeah, I did it, I'm kind of worried that a lot of people are going to get denied, as in the 50 corporation slots is already filled. I could be wrong.
Oh, I bet you it is. Yeah, I bet you it's done.
I mean, I did mine over 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sweating it, but today I'd be sweating it. Hadn't I done it so early?
Close.
So then, along with that, the top 3 corporations in the previous Inscription of the Galaxy rankings will be invited to participate. If they refuse to participate or do not meet the participant requirements, they will not be included in the ranking. And guess what? They have even steeper limits as to how they get in. So, of course, CEO and director have to have Omega. Over 50% of the corporation's members have Omega clone active. They have to be established more than 30 days ago and have over 50 active members in the last 30 days. I wonder if they define active as in 30 days within that.
Sounds like they do. Yeah.
Okay, so
at least logging in one time within 30. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Good.
There is that. And that was it for the announcements for Eve Echoes. And now, hot off the press, they did just release the weekly developer Q&A, and this is literally hot off the press. This is before Captain Benzie can get his hands on them hot, right? Am I right?
Uh-huh. That's right.
So we're the first here to say it to you now. The weekly developer Q&A came out from 7/12 to 7/18. I haven't even read these questions yet. That's how fresh they are.
Yeah, so, like literally 30, 40 minutes ago.
Well, let's hear them. Let's go.
Let's go. So, can you please...
You want me to read them, or you got them pulled up?
You know what? For a change, let's have you read them. Maybe you won't screw up as much as I.
That's content.
So the first question came in was, can you please either stop giving rig safes as rewards or allow us to do something with them? After tech levels 3 and 4, these have no use and they just pile up. Maybe at least let us reprocess them or combine prototype rigs to create regular rigs. The same goes for the modified. The answer comes from Cloud, and he says, in the future, we will consider allowing the reprocessing of prototype rigs and using them to build the integrated rigs repair device. Test modules can be upgraded into more advanced modules through reverse engineering. Huzzah!
Yeah, they have purpose.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a good answer, Cloud. Thank you. So keep saving all that shit. It'll be worth something at some point. Don't throw it away. Next question comes in, and it says, are there any plans to allow mining drone to be buffed by the mining foreman burst module? As with the incoming of more and more work rules, the Orca is becoming a redundant and useless ship and cannot compete with even a Covetor 2. First of all, you're incorrect, but whatever. There is no plan for this for the time being. The Orca is currently a non-capital mining command ship, so its mining capabilities will not be as strong. That came from Pixie. And so keep in mind, guys, that an Orca, fully skilled, properly fit, is going to mine faster than a Covetor 2. So I'm not sure how you would call it a useless ship. But its boosts that it's giving out are specifically for Covetor 2 or smaller mining barges. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So, it's like a stepping stone. I mean, I like how he says with all these work rules, where is he at where there's just like hundreds of work rules all over the place?
It's raining work rules.
I want to know. We're coming right now.
Taylor, I wanted to add to that. Taylor, do you know how long it takes for an Orca to fill its cargo with ore?
I think it's 32 minutes.
I would say it's a bit faster. Not faster, but a bit slower. I think it's right around the 40 range. Maybe it's 32 with the
mine's
best
32.
rigs. Okay, so you probably have
mine's 32.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, I could fill my Orca in 15 minutes.
Because you got everybody else dumping into it, or what?
Exactly. Nice. I have a few satellite miners. And they just strip, drop the ore. The Orca picks it up, and I take it back. And that's just just with 3 miners.
The person who asked this question doesn't get that mining is an efficiency game. You're putting chips out on the table, you're putting them at risk, and you got to account for the losses that are coming your way. Like,
I like Charizard's, mine's 28 minutes with cargo rigs. Stop being poor. I just did a video earlier this week. Rambo and I did 2 videos, actually, 2 shorts this week. And in one of them, I specifically talk about there is 0 reason why you should be broke in this game. If you're broke in this game, you're doing it wrong. There's so many ways to make money. It's ridiculous.
I resent that comment.
You don't even have to play to make money. Like, if you set up your PI right, like, you have all the passive income you could ever ask for.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Eve Echoes should really keep on with the promotional story missions that help us make lots of ISK a little faster. Hope you all keep it up. This answer comes from Melos. In terms of rewards, the current storyline mission fit well with its high risk, high reward positioning. When there are more New Eden stories to be presented in the future, we will consider introducing more storyline missions. So, yeah, I mean, they get a little stale. If you've done this game for 2 years now, it's like, seriously, let's get some new shit in there, some new stories. And there's, with some of the new content coming and this new enemy coming, I would hope that they would allow or add in some more story missions just based on that. So anyway,
they've got narrative design too. Like this latest story in there actually gave me some hope. They're with the yes or no they're just missing the branching paths, and then they've got something worth investigating multiple times. And oh god, I hope they run with the modular design that Eve pioneered, but give me good story content more than good story money making.
All right, we got 3 more because they really packed this one in with questions. Next one, could you please add a feature allowing corporations to insure ship losses themselves in a similar way to how corporations or how corps can fund Corp Omega? I feel like this is an important feature as when commencing in PvP with corp provided doctrine ships that do get lost. Individual players should not have to incur a loss from their own IP as it is a corp-owned ship. So is a corp willing to come up with insuring the ship? That's the question, basically.
Yeah.
Please God, I don't need more things for my corporation to pay for people. Good Lord. Anyway, we hope that insurance can be used on personal assets and IP cannot be circulated within the corporation. It is recommended that the members use the corporation mission to claim compensation from the corporation. That comes from Pixie. Yes, exactly. If you're going to be doing it that way, do it through the corporation mission market. So that's the way to do it. Next one.
Back to the Plex market where it needs to be, where they need to be.
Is there the possibility to add market statistics for other players to use? Not only ship prices, but amounts sold at what prices? It can greatly help people in the market to determine high volume investments rather than resorting to player base knowledge or guessing. Is there a possibility to add market statistics for the players? Well, yeah, I mean, there needs to be better statistics, that's for sure. Lance Dodd answers and he says there's no plan for this in the short term. This is actually an interesting feature, but only a small number of players need to use it regularly. Bullshit. Our current development plan prioritizes features. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. Seriously, Lance Dodd?
Like pocket stocks.
Yeah, this is... It's called a market, and the people kind of somewhat run the market, and NetEase runs the other half of the market. And statistics and analysis is important in any player-made market. That's ridiculous, Lance Dodd. All right, last question. Are there any plans to add exploration missions to Concord Pass soon? It's tedious for pilots who are dedicated to exploring since they need to mine or ratting to increase the pass. Answer comes from Paulin. There is a corresponding plan, but it will not be released in the short term because we are trying to find a better way to calculate the work of exploring.
Interesting.
That basically means no. I don't know what
So what they mean by the work is probably the amount of time and clicks, like how many systems you've got to average to find it. Like exploration is all statistics. It's an area control game, but you're also putting yourself at risk. Like I just lost statistics today, so fun.
Well, maybe in the third anniversary, they'll include that.
Hey, Jarmug's in the on-air chat. He's got a marketing trend tool. You should check that out. It's good.
every Wednesday. So what he has on there should be hot off the press.
Yeah.
Like definitely worth looking into.
If you were watching it, you would have known that the mock blueprints and mock ships were starting to be sold out, and prices were going up. So, also, you would have seen by now, maybe by tomorrow, you'll see a spike in all of the rig blueprints as people are starting to snap those up more to try to use for the integrated rigs, or T4 rigs, I mean. So, yeah, Jarmog, put the link in the on-air chat. Share it.
So it begins.
So since I'm still in the CC channel right here, I'm scrolling up for that announcement. But a couple of days ago, we had an announcement from a moderator to basically telling the content creators to stop pinging the devs. we literally got told to stop pinging the devs. And to send up questions up the chain, basically. So that was pretty interesting. There's a bit of
Damon's just going to post it right there. Yeah.
Did he have a screenshot or something?
Right now.
Yeah, he just posted it.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes, due to a large amount of dev pings, we have been asked to stop pinging them directly. We know things have been very clear as of late as to how to pass information up the chain. And to make sure that, I just lost it because people are commenting, make sure the community is heard and major issues get resolved. We're still working on clearing up this process. So for now, please report any issue, community suggestion, critical server crisis, and other exploit to need a get a fix or Kelbeck. And they'll compile all the reports that they receive. But in that announcement, it did not include Cartley. So we can ping Cartley as needed. So at least that's good. But I still thought that was kind of funny how, and I replied to that. I said, exactly how many pings a day is too much? And I was going to compare that with the amount of pings that I get a day. And I don't know, maybe apply for a job or something.
Well, then Damon put up his screenshot of how many pings he currently had, and you're like, yeah, but it helps if you actually respond to them.
Oh yeah,
because he wasn't answering any of his pings.
Yeah, Damon Zell has 3,200 pings that are unread. And
unread, yeah.
It actually helps if you actually look at them.
Yep.
I pretty much see every little red dot. I can't stand the red dots. I just can't. So I just
it drives me nuts.
I glance at them or I clear them. It's on a server that I don't really care anything about. Like I'm on the Ark Survival server, and they do their community updates every week. I get a ping on there, I just clear it out. I don't even read it because I'm not playing that game right now, and I choose not to mute it. But whatever.
Response anxiety. Oh. I've been. Damn it, Discord! You've trained me too well.
Yep.
Yeah. So now
look at that. He's even got my face on it. Thanks, Damon.
He's got more pings than ISK. Get that.
Yeah, no shit.
He's got more pings than ISK. All right, cool. So that was the game news. And next we'll talk about the new record server kill mail. And I think, Taylor, you shared this to me. I heard it. Let's see. Yeah, you shared it to me. And let me see if I could. I thought I saved the photo. Yeah, here it is right here.
Well, it's over in our staff chat. I can copy and paste it if I need to.
Here's the new record Rorqual kill mail. 135 billion, almost just short of 136 billion. That's an oof right there. Yep. So beating out the previous one that Bot 5 had at 127 billion. This one being 135B. And credit goes to LSPL, and ZRQ appears to have gotten that kill over in Wicked Creek. It's from a corp I've never heard of, VALT. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I never heard of Vault.
No. Yeah.
Not really sure, anything about this pilot or anything, but they do have one thing under their belt, and it's the largest kill mail in the game as of late. So.
And the poor bastard didn't have his blue tactical module drop. So, I mean,
damn.
That's 35 billion of that right there, or more. I think maybe 40 billion of it right there.
Yeah.
Have those stabilized, or are they still fluctuating?
No, actually, it's 40 billion probably to make the blueprint, and then it's probably another 40 billion for the damn thing to build it. maybe a little less than 40. I don't know. The blueprint, I just added it all up today. The blueprint is just shy of 40 billion to make the damn thing. And that's just for a shot at it.
That's insane.
So just to make the blueprint. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot.
Thousands of cheeseburgers.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So a whole lot of Fs. People saying OG in a possible crisis for that loss. I don't know. Yeah, that's the one to beat right there. I think Zen said that he can get that beat.
Yep, the bar has been set. Let's see it, Zen.
See it. Oh man. All right, cool stuff. And okay, so the next part we're going to talk about is the game show. And I was just talking with my wife about this the other day. It was like, the billionaire game that we had was actually like really good. Now that you actually like think about it and watch the videos and the production value of it and the time and effort and the ISK giveaways and everything, I think that was probably considerably one of the best giveaways on a Eve Echo's media platform. Maybe it's just me saying that, but that's what I'm thinking. So it's going to be pretty hard to top.
Yeah, the content was great.
So
I put a poll up on Reddit last week Thursday, and the poll came due today, and I've got the final count for potential options. And none of these are set in stone, right? A lot of this depends on what we're able to pull off and how many people apply to each of these things. If we have an event and nobody signs up for it, we're not gonna do it, as far as I can tell. If it's something we can do, I'm rambling. Do you guys want to hear the results?
Yeah, let's hear the
results. Yeah.
So, coming in at last place was Prize Ship Pursuit, then was Forged in Feadows, then Thunder Sun Family Feud came in fourth. Now, this was a front runner for a lot of folks, and I would really like to see it. This one, but third place goes to Death Race, which that was racing through void space, going to different pylons and getting back, hopefully surviving that when I want the rotation eventually. Second place was The Price is Right, and this is at 14 votes, so we're not talking big numbers, but pretty good turnout for the survey, which top bill was Belt Battle Royale. And I've got some ideas and ship types that I'm going to post later tonight on Reddit. That was my second article for today. But I want to hear what you guys think about the poll results, just as a matter of course.
My first thought is, fuck it, let's do Family Feud. But no, I mean,
as far as like game shows go, though, I mean, I could do the whole announcer thing for the Belt Battle Royale, and that's fine and all.
Mm-hmm.
If people want to do that, cool. We have a new sponsor that has generously given us a large sum of ISK to give away, and so we want to make it, fun for the people and have good content and all of that. But Family Feud, I could see that being a really fun one. And then also,
the Family Feud thing that would be great with it is you'd have 3 guys from one alliance versus 3 guys from another alliance. And, we'd want to have it be with guys that just love each other. Like we'd have Silent on one side with Michael JD and J Factor and Legion on the other.
That'd be hilarious. The smack, like just the, oh man. Jerry.
Harvey host. And I was kind of hoping that Family Feud would win. I was actually surprised that not Wheel of Fortune. What was The Price is Right came in second.
Price is Right, yeah.
That I think would be a good one
too. Like that is an
it would be.
It'd be fun, especially with the markets. I don't know. So this was how the poll panned out. What happened this week? I think
we could still do the Battle of the Belt, and we could record that. We could have it where it's actually the in games being recorded, and we could still be in do it live with everybody at the same time. We might even be able to work it out to where on that end of it, if the timing is right, where not only are we recording it in the game, but we're also live streaming it out to YouTube as well, and then everybody could see the same battle at the same time. So.
Wow. if we get more sponsors, then we can get more games out there. Right? We could do them all if we wanted to.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
sure.
There were several votes for all in rotation. I didn't count those because I'm not like I can't. That is not a way to parse. But I think there were 5 or 6 for just do them all, rotate. Which I'm really excited to experiment. I like doing this weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
thank you for doing that, by the way. Appreciate it.
Of course.
We will talk amongst ourselves with that and kind of figure out how we're going to do this next event, and then I'm sure we'll announce it probably by next week if we do end up having the game next week. And so that'll be cool. And next we have the voicemails. And so I got 5 new voicemails this week. And in the audio check before the show, it was working, so I don't have that screw up again. But here, I'll just go up the list and I'll play the voicemails.
Hey Rambo, this is the Double. Every time Michael J. B. talks on your podcast, all I hear is that creaking chair, and visually see him rocking back and forth with his explanation that I really don't hear, because all I hear is that creaking chair. Come on, man. Get some oil.
Yeah,
oh, that's so true.
We had Michael
that's
JD
so true.
on last week, and every time, if anybody knows him, every time he talks, you hear that creaking chair in the background, and it's so...
Man.
People saying, lube the chair.
WD-40. That's so true, though. That's so true.
Yeah, lube the chair. So if MJD is listening, there's a tip. And that was Nessival, by the way.
That's very true, Hans. His profile pic should be a swivel chair.
All right, so here we go. We got Threshner again coming in with another voicemail. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Rambo, this is Threshner with You Lose It, We Build It Shipyard. Sorry if it sounds a little weird. I'm calling from my mom's house. I got sent home due to some performance review. Anyways, this is a call for Crimson Kang? Oh, it's Crimson King. Sorry about that. Sounds like a Marvel character. Anyways, this is regarding one of the invoices that he sent over and the contract he already accepted regarding a Calwar sniper. I checked the local galaxy, all the pilots across the galaxy. Only about 12 of them fly destroyers, so we just kind of want to verify that he actually did want this style of ship. Very odd. Again, destroyers ineffective. Kind of odd for him to request that. So if you could reach out to him and confirm that for me. Again, he already took the ship, so he must have some interest in it. Get back to me if he does like it, or we made some mistake. Anyways, this is Freshner. You Lose It, We Build It Shipyard. Again, if you know who might be leaking those emails or those voicemails, let me know. A little nervous over here. All right, bye.
You said he sent you a thing?
You sent me a Tall War sniper.
Really?
And I took it. I'm like, yes, this is my favorite ship. I love this. Thank you. I did
That's
not realize.
amazing.
Well, someone has to like destroyers, man. They are the ugly ducklings of the universe, and
they are.
From a fiction perspective, I love the Honor Harrington series. And the first ship that she commands is a destroyer, and I've got this weird fixation with the idea of making them useful because, what's not to love? They're almost as fast as frigates. They're almost as strong as cruisers. They are the ugly redheaded stepchild of Netties, and I will love them till the day I die.
And you will die a
or
lot.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah, I will die a lot.
Yep.
Man, destroyers.
All right.
The Tall War sniper specifically.
Moving on, we got another one here.
I kind of feel for this guy. Rambo, I like you sexually. It's like one of those things that you don't want to do. It's like you're wasting your time. Do it. And we've never touched him before. Do it. Thinking that I can make some money. Going in and coming back out, connected to one another. Exploratory options. Yeah, doing that. Faster. Yeah, do it. Faster. Rainbow. Faster. Do it. However long it takes to fill your hole. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That was funny.
That's a mashup.
Somebody did a mashup.
Holy
That's
shit.
me talking. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. What is this? That's holy shit.
That was brilliant.
Oh, God.
Somebody called in with a mashup. I like you sexually. Okay.
That's mash up, not mass up, but that's okay.
Mash up?
Rambo, it's okay. Yeah.
We need to have another pronunciation Eve Echoes video.
We do. If you guys missed it, Rambo and I put out a pronunciation tips with Rambo. And oh, gosh.
Dude, I was going through HiSec.
Catch 22 there.
I was going through HiSec and I was just looking at the names. We could have had so much more fun with some of the names that are out there.
I forgot about Tyran Federation. Damn it. I should have put Tyran Federation. I always say Tyran, yeah. Not cash. Oh, shit.
Anyway, check that video out if you hadn't. But so that was a mashed up voicemail. Okay, cool. So here we go. We got Rosalind here.
Nice.
Hey guys. Hey, it's Rosalind. So I figure you guys probably like books, so I'm gonna read you one. And I've never read this one, but I hear it's got vampires. Spoiler alert, I guess. So anyway, this is before the first chapter. It is the preface to the book Twilight. I'd never given much thought to how I would die, though I'd had reason enough in the last few months. But even if I had, I would not have imagined it like this. I stared without breathing across the long room into the dark eyes of the hunter, and he looked pleasantly back at me. Surely it was a good way to die in the place of someone else, someone I loved, noble even. That ought to count for something. I knew that if I'd never gone to Forks, I wouldn't be facing death now. But
no, we gotta stop this. I won't let this stand.
It's 10 minutes long. Continuing on.
Oh my God.
When life offers you a dream so far beyond any of your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. The hunter smiled.
Did he? Holy shit.
Conquered to kill me.
That was it. I think Rosalind just wanted to hear his own voice.
Oh
I think so, yeah.
Does he write
erotica?
Rosalind, you might have some customers there.
God.
Get yourself on Audible. Yep.
You know, in space they can't hear you. Ooh ooh is the working title for the Eve Echoes erotica. I imagine Rosalind's working on it.
Believe it or not, Rosalind left us another one. Following that, check this out.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, it's Rosalind again. So here's chapter 1, First Sight.
Oh shit.
If you'd like to continue listening to Twilight, please have your credit card ready and press 1 now. Or if you'd like to be added to our Do Not Call list, please press 2 now. Thank you. Your number will be added to our Do Not Call list in the next 24 to 48 hours. Gracias. Su número se agregará a nuestra lista de no llamar en las próximas 24
Is that lady drunk?
48 horas.
I think it was slow motion Spanish.
That was
What the hell?
What the hell?
I don't know. That was the voicemail. That was the first time I heard of it. So,
oh geez,
that was it. That was it for the voicemails this week. Some different ones, definitely, but keep them coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep them coming.
Yep, that's hysterical. Someone should go and get Templar 1 on the Kindle and call in and read us some of the best passages from that book. So,
I think Michael
I say
JD,
that for multiple reasons.
We need to get a squeaky chair, creaky chair, and just call random people. Why is my chair creaking?
Yep. This is Chairs RS. I'm calling about an order that Michael JD put in for yet another chair. We're not really sure what he's doing to these things, but every single time he sends one in, it squeaks like none other. Do you know how fat he is? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Fat ass. There's something.
He's moving around too much. He's getting it all like worn down.
Is he listening to? Yeah. What's going on is he's actually listening to Erotica by Rosalind every time he gets in that chair. That's why it squeaks so much.
That's great. Yeah. So cool. That was it for the voicemails, and then we already did talk about some of the YouTube shorts that we did. You didn't? Did you talk about the one that you did recently, Taylor?
I did one a couple days ago on sustainability.
Sustainability, yeah. Okay.
Yep. And why you should be flying a ship.
Versapod.
Period.
Yeah. Pick a ship. Yeah. Go fly it. Go lose it. Like,
yep.
We were joking around that we should start the New Eden Academy. It's the Catskill Academy competitor. But,
right. New Eden Academy.
Where you can actually get good ship fits. Oh, that was a shot.
Correct.
Rip.
We will teach you how to have fun. We don't know about winning, but we don't claim to know about winning. Come have fun with us. We'll teach you.
We'll show you the actual video of how many regular Nemesis bombers it takes with very low skills. The real video of us blowing up Benzie's outpost. So you can see how it's done.
The bombs. It's all about the bombers.
Yeah, I was kidding.
Let's run the school through tuna, eh?
Right?
There you go.
Join the school.
Did we talk about it last week? Did we talk about it last week about the Fulmination server not adding new content creators? Did we talk about that yet?
No, we didn't. We heard about this in the CC chat over the last week, but yeah, so all of us new content creators that finally got our listings or are added onto the server and all that, we're supposed to be added on to Fulmination as well, and that apparently isn't going to happen because they can't keep it updated or something. I'm not sure what the actual excuse is, but yeah. Rip.
It's bad. It's pretty bad. People like the one
That's pretty
perk
bad.
that you want for a content creator, and it's we're not adding anybody right now. And it was another content creator wanted he had to get a new device, and so he was requesting the Fulmination access again, and he got denied because they're not adding anybody to Fulmination. So a previous content creator that had previous access to it got a new device, didn't have the server installed on his game client, and so he wasn't able to get back onto it. Now doesn't have access. Why not? Rocket asks, why not? I don't know. I thought I
just said why not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have deliberately avoided publishing the list. Oh, that's the new CCs. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah,
even
a list of new CCs.
New CCs because it brings some potential problems. Not really sure what.
Well, they don't want to have a list of who's a content creator and who's not. That's what's going on right there.
It's like, oh, these guys are approved and these guys aren't, and
leave it up to them to tell people if they want to. I think that's fine. And to Cartley's credit, what he did say to me as far as the Fulmination server goes is that it's not a dead deal. It's just right now with what they're working on. I think what's probably happening, although the translation's not happening right, I think it's a guy, Rocket. Cartley's a guy. At least that's what I was told today.
Yeah,
but anyway,
told today is Cartley's a guy.
Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't care. It doesn't change anything. Man, woman, thing, it, they, them, doesn't matter.
Well, I've been calling Cartley a she since he started. So I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Screen names.
Whatever.
You never know with screen names. We could
exactly. So no, what he mentioned to me was it wasn't necessarily they just weren't going to add anybody. Period, and that's it. I think with what they're doing with some of their updates and some of this new content coming next month, when they're trying to fix things over on they're not putting any time into the Fulmination server. That's it. They're just not putting any time into it. So if you're going to have it and have people using it and posting videos on it, then it's got to be the same as the main server that everybody else is on. So I hope that means by the end of August, maybe they'll come back around again and be able to update it and go. But we'll see.
It's quite often Fulmination gets updated after Aurora server, which is the main server. And so people are like, oh, can you test this? Well, Fulmination's not even working. It's not even updated. It hasn't been updated for 3 weeks. We can't even get onto it until we bug them enough to actually fix it. So, you know, it's not entirely a big loss. I mean, a lot of the CCs don't even go over there anyway. So,
yeah.
If you have questions, ask a CC who does have access to it still.
That's frustrating in its own right, because there are so many things they could be doing with all of that power.
Yep.
Experimental builds, get weird with it, man. Like,
all right. Did people find what this leaked ship was yet?
Oh yeah, it was posted a long time ago.
What was it? Was it an Enforcer or
Enforcer?
Yeah, it's the Enforcer prototype. Yeah, that one right there. Damon had it up.
Dope. Thank you.
So Tier 8 in the Caldari ship tree has this Enforcer prototype cruiser. It's pretty cool looking. I'd have to admit, when I first saw that, I was like, "Whoa, that's cool." And then I saw
if
the
you
ship
look at
traits,
its
like
buffs.
holy crap!
Yeah.
It's got a buff.
It's going to be
everything.
Tackling beast.
Yep, it's going to have extended scram range. It can put on a Sino. It could be a covert ops. Every weapon type except for decomposers has an extended damage or range or something. It's not really a faction. It's Concord, but it's in the Caldari tree.
Yep.
So that's weird. But
and another CC had posted that and asked Cartley if this was intentional or not. And I think we still have to hear that answer back, whether it was or not. It may have been an accidental leak. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and if it's if it follows suit of that class of ships that are Concord, then we should see a frigate and a battleship as well. So it'll be 3: the frigate, the cruiser, and the battleship. They all have separate names. They all have the same type of setup, though, with multiple bonuses all over.
Yeah, the implication there.
Yeah.
And if they're along the same lines, I bet the frigate would be some hella tackling potential. But I don't know. I hope that they keep leaking this stuff ish. Like, I don't know if it's a leak or not, but if they post stuff about letting folks know and then have like people discover them, that
was 100% discovered. Also, yeah, there was nothing said about that. Nothing.
Nope. And you can see those ships now in the game if you're on a gate. You can see an Enforcer as a Concord ship on the gate.
Nice.
So, yep, it's just one of the blue ships that's there.
Cool.
I want one.
So.
Yep, I do too. It's nice looking.
I think that is it for now, and we'll cut to the commercial break, and then when we get back, we'll be talking with Zen, and then soon after, Bunker Boots. Let's get it.
All right.
Whoa.
Are you tired of being a Jerry? Tired of your ships always going down in flames? Wish you could ride like a pickle? And come join us at the Council of Rick C-137, where we have loads of T-10 riding. Just look at those explosions. Mining, ore, and industry more up your alley? Then come join our powerhouse fleet and participate in one of our many events. Want fleet PvP? Join up and be a SEAL Team Rick. Become a member of an elite task force. So come live the good life and know with C-137, Council of Ricks. We'll be waiting. Proud member of the Care Bears with Gun Alliance and Silent Federation.
Are you tired of ticks so small she say you ain't got no tick at all? Then what you need is to come on down and join the Council of Ricks today. We got everything. T10 anomalies, T10 rallies. We even got T10 mining. You wanna kill some motherfuckers? Come on down, we killing motherfuckers all the time.
GRA is a tactical group geared towards guerrilla warfare, consisting of flexible pilots who adapt to any and all developments of the game, utilize tactics together with the team, thrive under pressure in small gang warfare. Be part of a federation. Apply by contacting a GRA representative or join their Discord at elgorilla.online. More info can be found at www.elgorilla.com. Become part of the legend.
Yeah, and speaking of GRA, we just happen to have Zen on the show here next. But before we unmute him, I was going to say, during the commercial break, Damon was saying if I was going to talk about the heat that I got from last episode. Apparently, somebody thinks that this podcast is biased.
Uh-oh.
Do you see those screenshots?
I'm looking at. Sun Banana thinks it's biased. Okay.
What do you expect from SHH? Biased as always, not worth listening.
Oof. Well, we don't report the news. We report what's close to it. I mean, or
if it's almost
tagline,
news.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's almost news.
If it's almost news, yeah.
We're an opinion show. This is if you're looking for bias or like non-biased opinions in an opinion show, that's like, looking for unmarried bachelors. It doesn't make sense. You're getting bias on a show about personal bias.
This is news and talk and opinion and discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you think it's biased. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, Zen, are you ready? I hope you're ready. I'm looking for you here. I'm unmuting you. Welcome, Zen.
There you go.
You X'd up.
X up, Zen, yeah.
Oh, hello.
It's my easiest form of communication, right? Just drop an X.
Just drop an X.
Yep.
How you like that convenient corporation ad I played?
Yeah, I know, right? It's we got to get a newer one, but that one's super good. Actually, the voice work is done by one of my court mates, Blisk. He's actually in the studio, so shout out to Blisk. He does great work there with the voiceover.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, cool. So what's up, Zen? What's good in the neighborhood? What's going on with you in New Eden?
Well, New Eden, the same old stuff. We've, got in some fights, got in some conflict, wrapped some things up, moved some things around. It's always interesting. There's some, always some things being talked about and all of that. But we're looking at, operating all over, creating content and all that stuff. But at the same time, not trying to, stick our finger in everybody's pie, right? So it's been interesting, the summer lulls going on, and people, they need a diversity of content. So we always promote that, and especially PvP and structured warfare and all that stuff. So doing those types of things, it definitely promotes a certain, culture in the community. But it also, keeps those pilots happy, gives them something to do, targets, objectives, wartime, all of that. So it's always good when ops start to ramp up.
Definitely.
So I had told Taylor that you wanted to come on the show, and so I had Taylor come up with some questions.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Go ahead, Zen.
I'm always like,
go ahead, Taylor, hit him.
Oh, I'm always like AMA, like let's go, whatever you guys want to ask.
Rambo just threw me under the bus because I was going to make up where these questions came from, but now he just let out that these next 7 questions are from me. So here we go. Question number 1: how does Silent keep its pilots from going crazy with nothing to shoot?
So we always have NBSI, right? Not blue, shoot it policy. So people want to get together. We always promote, like corporations. Hey, yeah, like somebody's like, hey, I want to go, over here and do some ops. I'm like, yeah, dude, go go have fun. Like, number one, right? Like, let's get together, have some fun, fly ships. You know, they're like, oh, well, I want to go fly with this neutral group. I'm like, yeah, dude, get in a fleet, go, like, have fun. You know, at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is to create an environment where our pilots are, you know, not only, you know, achieving objectives of the organization, but they're having a good time. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
And it's not to, in the overall scheme of things, right? Like, that's how we combat attrition across the community.
Yep, always got to have a good time. Got to have something to do. Keep everybody focused on something.
Well, not to mention they got content at the front door.
You know,
Content.
Yeah, there's always a lot of content.
Yeah, we've actually had a lot of roams and stuff, so it's been good. It's been pretty enjoyable up in the north, and I've seen you know, some of our newer FC stepping up, and it's been really good. You know, shout out to Taylor Rick, doing good work. I've even seen Rambo running some home defenses there.
Rip.
Nice.
It's
I always die.
Been pretty good.
I take heavy losses.
I saw that. Rambo's like Rambo Interceptor and a different Interceptor, and I'm like, are you gonna die again, Rambo?
You know, I threw
another Interceptor.
I threw a Thrasher fleet issue at somebody the other day, and it was worth a whopping 14 million ISK. And I said, "Here, take your trophy kill and go."
You got the name on the kill mail. The name was worth far more than the ship, I'm sure.
Exactly.
But you guys did get that ship you were chasing. I think it was a Mac or a Vid.
Yeah, he later died. Yep, he later died.
Yeah.
I watched the Kill Mail channel.
Right. And it's so funny, you know, we have the CEO meetings. You guys, you know, go to those and stuff, and you know, I hand out interdictors like crazy. I think I've handed out like 300 interdictors over the past, like, I don't know, month, I guess. People are like, yeah, exactly. Thrasher interdictor, dude. Like, and basically that's all you need, you know, and our guys have been doing a great job implementing them. And it's always good to see. It's like, yep, I just gave out like 20 last night, and, you know, it's like, it's fine, guys. There's, you know, we've got plenty of logistics and assets and coordination, but at the end of the day, like, we have to have pilots, you know, step up and get in the ship, you know.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm like, here, you know, like, if this makes it easier, you know, they're cheap and they get the job done, you know. So
brilliant.
All right, question number 2. What's Michael JD's ego like working with?
See, and that's I don't ever have any problem working with JD. So JD knows that I'm just logical and to the point, and I run off metrics and data, and, you know, there's not, like, you guys know, I'm not emotional about things. You know, things will get, you know, heated or something, and I'm just like, guys, we live in nullsec. Like, we're gonna lose ships. It's okay. Your POS is going to be attacked. It's all right. Your Citadel might get shot. It's okay. You know, we voluntarily live in PvP space.
Yep.
And so it's like, if you want to, you know, retain those assets, like, act like they're yours and protect them. You know, act like it's sec. It's PvP space. We voluntarily choose to live there. You know, so
that's right.
That is the purpose. That's why you're there. You want the fight.
Yeah.
Go fight.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, if you don't
we
want
don't
to
have
fight,
to go very far for it right now. That's for sure.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And it's been really good. It's been really good. Lately, especially. So, and I always like that stuff, because, like, all it does is, you know, our FCs step up. We get newer FCs stepping up. We get, you know, people start coordinating. They create these squads and these teams, and I think I saw somebody in one of the Corp FC program. They were like, what was it, Bot 9, right?
Yeah,
like,
Bot
we're gonna
9. Yeah,
deploy Bot 9.
Yep.
And so that camaraderie, you know, that's a community, right? And that's people having fun and flying and playing together, and that's what it's all about.
Notice how he avoided the question, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding. Next one. Yeah, number 3. Is it true you have a love child with Alondria?
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, no.
Wow.
Or her 23 alts.
Yeah, there's so many.
I'll ship it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay.
Rip.
But no,
it's way over there.
I don't have any problem with how she chooses to play the game. It just, a lot of organizations have issues with it, and it's like you're gonna, try to do the Intel network and spy game and all that. It's kind of hard when you broadcast it. So, it is.
So, okay, on a serious note, a while back, Silent Federation posted kind of a memo to New Eden, opening up Pure Blind for anybody to come in and move into that space. Have you seriously had anybody approach Silent Fed about settling in Pure Blind?
That's so funny you asked that, because I actually just got in the Discord server of a group that moved into Pure Blind like just recently, and they were like, they're a smaller alliance, and they seem like a good group of pilots and everything, and they were like, hey, could you talk to these guys about not shooting our people, and can we get blue and all these other things. I'm like, listen, man, I don't like you living in Pure Blind. Like, we released it as Federation space, and I'm like, if any of our organizations blew you, it's just putting a target on your back, and I would rather you guys, get used to being in null and, learn to provide for yourselves and all of those things, and build infrastructure and, learn what it's like to be in nullsec, because there's a steep learning curve, and provided some advice and, things like that. And, at the end of it, they're like, well, what does it take to, be a member and all of that. So, and I sent them the rules and everything, but, as far as, membership goes, it's always interesting, it depends on the group and the rules and, if they can, agree to the guidance and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm always open to offering groups advice on how to grow and be better, survive nullsec, and figure out how to organize things a little better.
Yeah, as people often tell Rambo, get good.
What?
So,
what?
The next...
I'm over here telling people how to play the game, and I have to get good?
I know. It's funny how we post that sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny.
That does lead into my next question, which is, does Silent have any plans at expanding? And by expanding, I don't necessarily mean like Pure Blind or the regions outside of the ones where Silent's already at now, but just expansions in general, whether that's different people that are getting blued in, different areas in the map that might have different settlements. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Or is Silent itself going to kind of stay contained with where it is?
Yeah, I mean, we always have so we're always of the attitude that, less blues is better, right? We have an organized group of people, and we have the regions we control, and we have the kind of the sovereignty laid out and all of that stuff. We've organized things, and sometimes we shift things around a little bit, but overall, most of the teams have been around. They kind of know how the process goes and all of that. But at the end of the day, no, we're not trying to gain territory or anything like that. I've always been of the school of thought that, if it's closer together, it's easier to defend, and so we want to be in a position where our strength isn't spread too thin. And so it's just about optimal use of our space and, defensible territory. And when you overextend, you become, basically vulnerable to, attack. And then it becomes a morale cost, right? Like, you're like, oh, you have all this territory. Yeah, but if you lose an entire region, all of your pilots feel the morale loss of that,
Right.
You do that to them, let's consolidate and just be strong, and be closer together and, really build a community and rely on our neighbors to help each other out,
Mm-hmm.
It's a game about living in space, and if you have nobody, in your space, then are you really living in space? It's about getting that family thing going on and sticking together, especially if you're thinking defensively. That's more
right.
CEOs and more alliance leaders need to start thinking long term about protecting themselves. Like that is the way to play.
Yeah, and it's all about short, midterm, and long term strategies. And I develop a various set of strategies. That's just how it is. That's how I lead the organization. The CEOs have wide latitude to, of power within their corporations, and the alliance leaders, they have broad power within their alliances and corporations. There's a lot of broad liberties, that are I don't regulate. Like, I'm not going to babysit POS slots. Like, I'm just not, I got to figure out how to administrate all that and everything else. Like, no, and so we've got a really good CEO team, and they're like, hey, this is my SOV and my POS slots. Hey, can you move your POS, right? And then the other CEO's like, yeah, you need to move your POS because I have my SOV and my POS slots, right? And it's all agreed upon. And it's been that way for a long time. And that's just like common teamwork, right? And other than that, we Wild West it. It's like, yeah, if it doesn't have sovereignty, like, go out and settle it as far as POSes go. But Citadels, we regulate all of that because we don't want people dropping sovereignty outside of our regions, especially, but also dropping sovereignty in something else that is essentially booked for someone else.
Which sometimes happens. I
know.
Oopsie daisy. Yep.
No, because you guys did that thing, right? And yeah, and at the end of the day, like, everything worked out. We were like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, thanks. It wasn't a big deal as far as moving, right?
Right.
Because when we do SOV exchanges all the time. It happens.
So with the current state of the game, the current state of Silent Federation as it is now, what do you think the future of Silent is and the future of the game in general?
Well, okay, so those, that's a big question, right?
Two big ones, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll start with the Fed because that's just easier for me. Obviously I like to strategize long term and mid term and short term and all of that, but at the end of the day, you have to stay flexible, right? Our goals are pretty straightforward. It's basically to consolidate and gain strength, right? So how do we do that? And we do it through building diplomatic relationships. We do it through building friendships. We'd going out playing, having fun, like enjoying the game, right? And also recruiting pilots and organizations. And so that ends up being the current kind of curve of where we're at in phases of our organization, is that we're in a defensible posture where we're just talking to people, going out, flying, having fun, getting content, and doing some recruiting here and there. But at the end of the day, like, the player base is challenging, right, and has its challenges. So it's all about retention at this point. People come to a community where they can enjoy the game the way they play and have fun and organize things, and so that's what we try to facilitate.
Nice. I gotta ask.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got one follow-on question, one more additional one. If you're down for one more, is that okay?
Yeah, I'd like to answer the New Eden Eve Echoes question real quickly. And as far as the future of the game goes, I feel like the community, as far as leadership, and I've kind of started to work on this, but I've just I've been super busy. But what I've proposed is to basically get all the major alliance leaders that we can into a Discord server and do what we can and try and consolidate, some information without political bias, right? And kind of survey our pilots and figure out some things on how we can change the game or talk to the devs or whatever we need to do to get new people and new pilots injected into the game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the only thing we're missing in the game is just a continuous churn in of new pilots. The game itself is great. Sure, it's got problems, but in my opinion, the game is great.
Right.
So
supposedly we have some advertising coming for the game, so that hopefully we'll bring in some more pilots.
Learned about that today.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to answer that first before we moved on.
Oh yeah. So the last question: if you had to say Silent had any weaknesses whatsoever, what is your biggest weakness as an alliance or as a group? I should say.
I mean, that's a good question. We're very organized. The leadership team is very coordinated. We're, when things get tough, we dig in. We dig our heels in and just get to work and get to business. The pilots, they do a great job showing up. They do a good job. We've had alarm clock ops. We've had ops, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've, had high tempo wars, and our pilots do an amazing job of contributing to the organization. So, it's tough to say what would be our explicit weakness. Because it's more malleable than just saying, oh, well, it's this one thing, right? Because organizations are kind of like a living thing, right?
Very true.
So they're changing and evolving, and they change over time, and so that's why I kind of like phase implement things. And the people in our leadership team, they kind of see this happen, right? And they're like, wow, like. If you look at where we once were to where we are now, it's night and day, right? But it didn't happen overnight. And so we've worked really hard to be like where we're at and organized and all of that. But if I had to, explicitly, it's hard to put my finger on, man. I wish I had a clear answer on, one explicit thing that I could say, oh, well, this is a weakness. And, if I was going to say one thing, but like we're getting better at is, home defense, right? Like I can see impressive gains in what we've been getting, in home defense as far as like ship on ship, invasion type stuff. As far as, how weak that is, it's not very weak, but it is a weakness, right?
Depends on where you go inside of the space as far as how weak it is. If you're over in Bot 5 land, then you're freaking toast.
Good luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we
all
unfair question. So keep going.
I can't get any kills because the Bot 5's in front of me.
So yeah, and so what's funny is like now we're in the stage of defensive development, right? And you see the culture shifting, right? Like more people are interacting, and so like the Southern Declan Bot 5, kind of culture's rubbing off on like the Care Bears, guys, and they're stepping up and they're like, I'm gonna kill some ships, I'm gonna blow them up and send them home, and then it's extending to North Declan, and we have guys over in Branch and Tenal who are feeling the same thing, and they're getting that bloodlust, right?
Fired up.
And getting fired up, and that's important, and I always have the statement of, you squash flies with sledgehammers. It's like if you're going to defend your space, defend it and defend it well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you and Rambo have probably heard me say that like 25 times at least.
Oh yeah. In every single one of our 14-minute long CEO meetings.
Yeah, right. I think our record's like 11 minutes or something. Right?
Yeah.
But then it's 55 minutes of BSing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay. At some point, I'm like, okay, if you want to hang out, we can do that. But it's adjourned, like on topics. But if you have questions, feel free. I think that's kind of. We've developed a really good team. So seeing the culture shift and the defensive posturing it's just really good, and the pilots have been they've been stepping up and doing a really good job.
That's a brilliant turn. That was a wonderful answer. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right.
I would say from my perspective, Silent Federation's biggest weakness, and this is one that nobody ever talks about, It's our biggest weakness, though. That's true. It's destroyers. We just don't know how to handle it. We just can't handle destroyers because we just sit there and be like, what do we do with that?
They're too fast.
Warp stabs. I thought you were going to say warp stabs.
12K, right?
Yeah, that's a direct one of Crimson King over there with his tall war sniper.
Send in the snipers, please.
I thought you were going to say warp stabs there, Taylor.
That's also irritating as shit, but that's just irritating. That's not really a problem.
Hey, with T4 rigs, how many warp stabs can we get now?
Oh God, what?
Like
16
points, right?
I don't know.
12? Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, you can get 12 right now without T4s.
And then throw that Death Wish on.
Well,
yep.
All right.
Oh, you mean integrated? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think
what is the max? It's got to be in the 30s almost.
Math is hard.
You're right, Charizard. Math is hard. Yeah, I don't know. It's too high up there to care. I'm just gonna shoot you, and if you warp away, fine.
I know the HTP guys are just itching to get bunker boots on, and I'm gonna be unmuting bunker boots. Zen, we're gonna keep you here in with us, and you can touch on some topics as well.
HTP guys.
And I need to find bunker boots, but yeah, here we go. Bunker boots unmuted. What's going on?
Hello, everybody. Hailing live from the butthole of Gemini 9P4 Tech App. How's everybody doing?
Good.
His tick is huge. Wow.
Whoa.
So we got a bunch of bunker boots and butt pirates going on here. I don't know what's going on. What are we doing?
Chat is going crazy.
We call ourselves baboons, apparently.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you guys are hilarious in chat tonight. It's awesome having you with us. All you HTP guys. You guys need to be regulars and come on every once in a while. Yeah. Liven up the chat. It's good.
Yeah, fired up.
Yeah, so Bunker Boots, if you'd want to introduce yourself to New Eden, who may not know you.
I think most people don't know me. I've been a nobody for the most of my game career. I'm Bunker Boots. I'm a director with HTP, and I don't know how I got here, really. One of our court members, Pneumatosis, suggested that I go on your show to explain how, by fluke, we won this ridiculous event on the leaderboard called Munitions Leaderboard. 2-month period. And we somehow ended up at the top. We were able to earn the honor of the top. I wouldn't say Indie Corp, but we certainly did win the most points in that particular competition for one of the top PvP alliances. And so here we are.
Nice.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
What all did the contest entail? I'm curious. Like, what did you guys do? Tell us more.
So the event apparently was the leaderboard awarded points based on how many successful corp production items were produced and delivered successfully into your corp hangars. So basically you would drop blueprints and materials into any corp hangar. You go into the corp industry build, you click on build, and once that gets pushed out, you are awarded points. The points are based on the actual button push of the particular item. So if, let's say a Naglfar is like a 2.5 billion ISK button push, then by the time 8 or 9 days later, when that ship gets pushed out and delivered successfully to the hangar, you are awarded 2.5 billion points. And so I can't remember how many points we eventually ended up with that put us at the first place, but I believe it was a little bit over 700 billion points, I believe. So that's how it ended. And it was a grueling 2 months, because it was for a period of 2 months of just constant building. And obviously for you to build, it was a lot of mining, a lot of buying, moving materials day and night. seeking out new orders, negotiating buybacks, negotiating prices for orders. And we basically built everything from soup to nuts, from subcaps to caps to structures, you name it. You ask for it, we would build it. Anything that would give us a single point on the leaderboard, we just slammed everything into a corporation industry.
Nice.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know at the start of that, we were trying to push a little bit for it because we do nothing but build capitals at the corporation level. That's what we build. And God, just keeping up with the amount of ISK you need to just keep that flowing was just, it got to a point where I was like, I just don't care.
It was a total ISK sink. I mean, and we didn't even want to, nobody really knew what the munitions leaderboard was, right? Because that's what NetEase does. They want to make the game as cryptic as possible. You actually need to see if you can get like a Google Translate service to just decrypt the explanations that they were trying to say.
Yeah,
seriously. And so it was all happenstance because I believe we had a capital ship in production at the time. And by the time the leaderboard kicked in, and it was shortly after the leaderboard had started, and somehow somebody said, "Hey, HTP is number one on this leaderboard." I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I go in, I look at it, and sure enough, we're leading by 2.5 billion points, and we had just pushed out a Dread, I believe. I can't remember which one it was. And I was like, "Okay, well, it's a fluke, I mean, I'm sure." There are like indie powerhouses, so-called indie powerhouses, right? We knew about Silent Federation's industry. We knew about, basically what, Captain Benzia said about, there are too many minerals in the market and it's crashing the materials market. And it's like, okay, now we have like Void as another powerhouse, and God knows how many other corporations were out there. So HTP, that prided itself in just being amateur at everything, we adopted this mantra. We self-labeled as weaponized stupidity. We would just do things just for the sake of doing it and see what happens. And that's the whole ethos of how HTP existed and survived all this long, from the days of GHA all the way to where we are now with No Alliance. But anyway, I digress. So we had a couple of ships lined up. The Alliance was asking for orders. There were a couple of other orders coming in, and we just kept on building. And surely enough, we were able to keep up on, in the top 3. At some point, we had dropped all the way down to top 10 because we literally had to stop production for an entire week during the GenFed war. That's probably a story for another time, but it was a hellacious situation. But somehow through this event, we certainly learned a lot. We got ourselves organized. We had a clear objective. We were able to rally the corp initially, and then later on, the Alliance got interested, and they're like, "How awesome would it be if No Alliance, that's known for being the PvP alliance it is, also win the title of having the top, quote unquote, top indie corp in the entire game?" So we kept pushing. It was a lot of competition. We thought we were going to get outspent because, like you said, Taylor, it was such an ISK sink. It was all about ISK. It was nothing but ISK. And so we were just going around, like running around like headless chickens, trying to get another order, one more order that will put us, give us a couple of billion points on the leaderboard. And that was just the whole of my 2 months that I will never get back again. But but at the end of the day, it was really all I wanted was the corp banner, really. That's what I did it for. I wanted to get that custom corp banner for us to hang in our gates in 9P40, TAC F, and our other citadels that we hold SOV. So yeah, that's how we managed to push through.
Glorious. It sounds like a full court press is the strategy to go with. Like, that was excellent.
Yeah. And if I understand it correctly, you're still waiting on that banner, aren't you?
Oh, we got contacted, and Greg here is our CEO. He probably got the brunt of it. So, as you can imagine, 2 months of the grueling, indie event of just spending literally like 15, 16 hours a day on Discord, on the game, just pushing this through, trying to push this through as hard as I could. At the end of the event, I needed a break. It was just, the game had literally consumed me. So I had gone on vacation for a couple of days, and that was that one weekend where NetEase had apparently reached out to our corp CEO at the time, Rackdat, and they were like, you have 48 hours to submit your design. And I'd been gone that weekend for 4 days. I was out of the country. I I went to a location where you had very little cell phone coverage. I was vacationing with my fiance. I was like, I'm not even going to flip and open my phone. I'm just going to completely disconnect. By the time I got back, I look at the channel, the director's channel, and all these conversations about this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. And they had submitted it. And I look at the design. I was like, no, what? Why? Literally, I spent 2 months to do this very one thing, and I completely missed it. I was livid. I was livid. I DM'd Greg, and I was just F this, F that, yada yada yada. And like Greg is like, what do you want me to do about it, man? What? You were gone. You went on vacation. You were gone, and we did the best we could, and we submitted it. And and I finally came down. I calmed down. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's space pixels, as Verde would always tell me. It's space pixels. So just let it slide and see how it turns out. That was a month ago, I think. So we haven't gotten our medals, we haven't gotten our nanocores, we haven't gotten our banner. After they moved this whole ruckus about, go, give us your design. No idea what happened. Later, we heard from other corps that did win similar events. They were talking, wait times between 6 months to a year. So we're not holding our breath. We're not expecting to see that banner get rolled out anytime soon. So I hope the devs hear this, because we're still waiting.
Yeah. And a lot of people.
Well, the very first one of these events that was the Inscription of the Galaxy about the SOV leaderboard, when that happened at the beginning of this year, it was just last month that the medals and everything got handed out. And that was at the beginning of the year. So
yeah,
And
5 months, 6 months, somewhere in there.
Which one did GRA win? Or place it?
We won the first one. Was the structure event for the SOV. Yeah, we won first in the SOV event, and for the first of these events they did across the game.
And you just now
these leaderboard events are.
We haven't gotten any of our stuff yet.
Wow.
It's supposed to be this month, so we'll see.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I've messaged them extensively last month, and they were like, "Okay, it's going to be this month," and I was like, "In July, right?" I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll see." So.
Yeah, 48 hours to turn something in, but you don't get something back for like 6 months.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's like going to be 4 months for us or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If it actually shows up this month.
The type of events they released was also very suspect. I don't know what the right word would be, but if everybody remembers, the other parallel event that was that ran with the munitions leaderboard event was
Like the spark
something along the lines of something along the lines of how many returning court members or court members. So we're here basically busting our butts, trying to, just spending like, hours and hours just trying to build as much as possible, literally like spending, 15, 16 hours, as I mentioned earlier, trying to win this. And then the other side of the leaderboard is like, we're just going to accept more members. And then the more members we accept, the top we will be. And it just seemed to be a very two extremes of the type of events, where it required two very different extremes of effort. And you can kind of see this in the current leaderboards where, I mean, a corp could only have 5 SOVs. So how do you determine who's number one if you have 10 corps that have 5 SOVs?
Yeah, the SOV is like.
Well, then
the SOV thing's also about the power used and how many structures are added on and all that too. So it's a little bit of a screwy thing. The bad thing is the capital side of it, where you can literally kill someone's capital and get that added to the total of the board, and you can also just kill your own capital and get that also added to the total of the board. So it's a little wonky.
So for those just listening, someone did post the scores in chat, and you guys came out with over 700 billion, it looks like.
Well, it's 130, I think, billion more. Yeah, it was 130 billion more than number 2. So in number 1 was held to pay with 773 million, 762 million, 154,000. Number 2 was some corp called EMX, never heard of before.
They're in silent.
And they got. Are they? Okay, I don't know who EMX is. They got 666
it's an alt
billion.
Corp.
So
it's an alt corp.
Yeah, that's why I've never heard of it. Xanadu is in 4th. I do know who Xanadu is. They have the stinky ships that they build and have a smell to them. But yeah, Void's in there, number 9. Hogs over in Care Bears with Guns is number 20. I mean, there's quite a few on here that I knew.
Yeah, and he made it to 13.
Even Black Screen made it to 12, and those guys just do PvP. That's bot 5. So,
well, speaking of the eventual leaderboard, I mean, you look at this scoreboard. There are a lot of corps from, like, Legion and Zan. They are known indie powerhouses, right? So looking at the list, you see like DBL was also like one of our main indie corps in No Alliance. So we knew what our competition, we knew what we were up against, and we were absolutely certain that we would be eventually outpaced, especially when during that 1 week that we couldn't build anything because Burr was just steamrolling through Geminate with their Macarial roaming fleets, and they were reinforcing every single one of our SOVs every single night. And it was one of our directors, Miss Walker, who organized the defense efforts. We eventually lost only 1 pause as a result because the pause owner never told us that was in reinforcement. But we were just so preoccupied with pushing ships out with you guys to the front while trying to defend the home turf against these roams, because each single pause that we have deployed also directly impacted how much PI we generated that would go back into ship production, that also impacted directly on how many points we were able to put up on the leaderboard. So it was critical for us that we maintain that capability in terms of trying to hold the line as much as possible so that we could continue on with eventually if the war were to actually end at some point, we would be able to get back onto it and keep building. But at that point we were being outpaced by THN. Zan was coming up really, really fast. So was Legion, the really strong powerhouses that we thought we were being overtaken. We actually thought we would see more of the Chinese corps because they have a different mentality and different approach of gameplay. They strive on collective collective power that other corporations don't have. But I think what really tipped the balance for us was when Alliance leadership really got behind us and basically said, we're gonna funnel all of our efforts, all of our resources, all of our assets. Run was really, really keen, and the man was fighting a war at the same time, but he also wanted us to succeed. So his support was critical, and our CEO Rackdat was able to also pick that up and really rally the corp. While I was burying my head in the sand, basically trying to figure out the spreadsheets and how to push the components out as much as I can. And then behind the back, Verde and Dan were also really giving a lot of information and insight into the technical aspects of it, and trying to give me a lot of course corrections on what I should be doing, and so forth. So really, at the end of the day, it was a huge team effort. I think that really enabled us to reach the top and finish. The funny thing was EMX had stopped. We noticed that EMS had stopped because on the leaderboard you can't see the rest of the decimals. So EMX had stopped at 666 billion points. So we were actually trying to reach 777 billion points, but towards the end, the last week, I just did not have the energy to do that. So we stopped short of 773 billion.
You only missed it by about 3 billion and change.
I know. Probably another
one more button push on the Capitol.
maybe that would have been just enough.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So, question for you in terms of the structures, HTP itself. I mean, how many members do you have in HTP? It's got to be more than the guys that are here in chat.
That's a good question.
7, because
we've had some recent changes. I mean, as with a lot of corporations, we have multiple players that have multiple alts.
Oh, sure.
And it's interesting. This kind of dovetails to another observation I noted, where surprisingly for a PvP heavy centric alliance as No. I was mildly surprised to see a lot of those members that were also closeted indie people. And so I guess that was the biggest hidden secret at the time, where we had a lot of support coming in, and we had a lot of people actually also move over to HTP to help us out, especially with people who had building skills, who had the miners, who had all these industry skills that we could have, that really helped us out at critical moments. A lot of those people actually opted to stay. Or keep their alts in HTP, to the point where now we actually formed a second alt corp specifically focused on PvP, because that's one of the main focuses that Greg has, our new CEO. Rackdat stepped down after we finished the munitions of it. Both of us were completely tapped out. And so Rackdat stepped down as CEO. He's now what we call quote unquote EXO, or executive officer, as you would call it in the military, because both him and I served. Yeah. And Greg was our first CEO who returned after a long break. So one of his big ticket items is to establish a pure military arm of HTP. So recently, we established the HTP2 War Baboons. And so that's taking off roughly about, I would say, 15 to 20 unique characters, unique players, while the rest of HTP main would focus on indie. I would say about, I don't know, Greg, help me out here on chat. I mean, we're talking about 50, 60.
You want me to unmute him?
I don't know. Yeah, sure, why not?
Put him on the spot.
Come on the show, Gregory. Yep.
Yeah, come on in.
You dumb motherfuckers.
Really?
Dumbest motherfuckers ever made. It says 80, Bunker. Mute me again. I'm fucking drunk.
Oh, wow.
We muted him. He's muted.
I see what you mean about the work hard, play hard thing. The baboons.
Yeah.
Right? Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Hell yeah.
That's hilarious.
But I would say about like anywhere between 50 to 70 unique players, and every one of them have a number of alts and whatnot. So I would say that's around our ballpark figure. I think we're continuing to grow. During the event, we've gotten so many random applications that we had to screen through. We had never seen. We were barely holding 100 before the event, and when HTP kept hitting the top 3 in the leaderboard, and more and more people were talking about us. Because who's heard of HTP before this, right? Honestly, let's be honest.
We've talked about you guys on the show. Yeah, we know who you are. We have talked about you on those shows. They're the very first Citadel, first Citadel, right?
Yeah.
So
that's our pride and joy right there.
I've defended it twice.
The oldest Sov. Okay.
There we go.
That was So that's our point of pride right there. The zoo, but so that's we kind of stumble along that way, and that's where we are right now as far as membership base. That was the long answer to your very simple question.
Nice.
Check your applications, because I'm going to be sending over a mining alt to join your club.
We recently had to do a little bit of a culling, because we did get a lot of alts that were like, "Hey, I want to help, I want to mine," and we're really not seeing the output right now. So we had to organize a little bit to see who are the true miners here. Charizard is probably going to be one of our baboons that will lead the charge for organizing what we call to mine, or CTMs. Which has been very successful, which has proven very successful during the event. We'd be like, "Hey, we're calling for a CTM," and people would just come out. We'd form 30, 40 man mining fleets, and we would basically run. These CTMs would run no longer than an hour. And so I set the timer. We're going to mine for an hour. We're going to deploy. We're going to everything that we mine here goes to the corp. And surprisingly, because it's a lot shorter and a lot more focused, it's a lot easier to rally people, because they have a clear expectation of how much time they would actually spend in game.
Right.
So I think that helped a lot. That helped a lot tremendously.
Yes.
I think all the new mining ships at this point with Rorquals and Orcas and everything else, I think that'll probably change the way the nature of how that works as well for corporations moving forward, big time.
Truth.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be the ISK that's the barrier, not the ore and the PI.
Absolutely.
Start busting bases. That is your ISK generation right there.
Yeah, busting the bases and resetting them and keep going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So going back to the leaderboards and effort specifically, I know that recruiting one was such a low effort. It's just completely stupid. And I know a lot of corporations. They only the recruiters accumulated points for that will lead to the leaderboard. It's just stupid. Anyway, in my corp, there's
then they had the limitation where they said then they had the limitation that they come out and say a corporation can no longer accept more than 200 new recruits in one day. And I'm sitting there going what? That's the cap. So people are creating brand new corporations, and they were just moving over to a new corp to suddenly get on the board. What the hell?
So, Bunker, after winning one of these leaderboards, what do you think about these corporations that cheat to get their advantage in the leaderboards?
I mean, can you blame them? Because this goes back to poor planning when it comes to designing these leaderboard events, right? The criteria for how you win these events. I mentioned before. You have the same parallel leaderboard where all you need to do is recruit more people into your corp, while the other side, you have to keep pushing and really focus and, hold true to the game mechanics to be able to succeed. So you really can't blame the players for taking advantage of, those types of exploits when the devs opened the door for allowing that to happen by deploying poorly designed and poorly planned leaderboard events. So, I don't blame the players at all. Cheating is going to happen. People find exploits, they're going to go with it and see how much they can get away with it. Recently, they released an announcement saying that, we noticed that, the cap ship values people are cheating with the points because they're, loading these capital ships with useless, skins and whatnot to increase the value of the kill mails. They say they're going to review it and, take necessary action accordingly. But
yeah,
the game is almost 3 years old now. They've seen probably a lot of forms of cheating. The fact that they didn't see this coming is also, I just wish that the devs would give a little bit more thought before, pushing these events out in haste. They do all these things with flashy, events and side events and these things that they think attract more, more players, because they are losing players. In the grander scheme of things, they are losing players. And I get it's a business and they need to keep up certain revenue to keep their operations going, to pay their staff and to keep players happy. But the more you push out poorly planned and designed events like this and really not listen to what the player base are asking for, then you're just incentivizing bad behavior, and you lose confidence in the devs, you lose confidence in the game. Who would want to stick around? I think a lot of people who really stick around this game is things like this, your podcast that you run, the human interaction. This is like Greg said, this is like an ultimate social experiment, right? It's based on actual social relationships. I've met like really, really good friends that I would love to absolutely meet in real life, because those were the people that I relied on, both in game and outside of the game. I'd be yelling and screaming at them. I'd be talking about really personal things that would really help me get through those tough times. That's really where the true connection of this game is. This is a stupid game, and the devs have dropped the ball on multiple occasions, but we're still here playing the stupid game because we cherish our human relationships. And I think if the devs can really shore up their end of the deal and really making this a powerful and robust game that capitalizes on those real life human, relationships, I think this will be something. I mean, that's how EVE Online succeeded, right? I've never played EO.
Definitely.
That's how EO was able to survive this long.
Yeah, show me that rental program, but have new players able to place in orders for ships that they want to fly or fleets that they want to gather. Like, give us tools that get the youngins into the fights, get them out there and mining with buddies. If you're a venture alongside a roar call, man, that is an experience, because it's freaking huge. You've got there's a lot of scale and it's all about, you're totally right. It's about that social connection. And chat saying preach, brother. It's the good.
Yeah.
I did go on.
I was gonna say go on.
I was just gonna ask him the same question I asked Zen earlier, but I am curious. What is HTP's biggest weakness, do you think?
Well, it sounds like it's shut the fuck up. The hashtag shut the fuck up. I don't know what this thing keeps going around.
It's really interesting because we failed at so many things, right? So it's really not one thing. Our whole existence was based on failure. And that's how we learned, right? It's like, you go into a laboratory, you see, it's like, oh, what happens when we mix compound A with compound B? And then it blows up in our faces and we learn from it and we just kind of move on. I think for the longest part, I think what really characterizes us as, I wouldn't say even a failure, but just, you see our conversations and it's just mayhem. People, we don't listen to each other. We don't pay attention to what we're saying. and we're like talking over each other, we're repeating, and then everything that's going on, and then somebody who has to make a decision on this, like what the hell did I just step into? And it's like, and then we just tell everybody, you just shut the fuck up, and you just mayhem ensuing. So I wouldn't necessarily call that a weakness. The whole
no, that sounds like a strength.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of laughs out of that.
Other than that orca kill right there that just got posted.
Don't even get me started.
Oh boy.
That was
why
when.
The hell does it have inertia stabilizers on it? No.
Charizard learned from that. I mean, I threw my Nidhogger at that because it was Charizard and he was being tackled, and I threw I warped out and was like, I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to go do it because this is the HTP way. I'm going to eat this carrier, and if I lose it, I lose it. But I'm going to at least try. Die trying. Ultimately, he lost the Orca. It was one of the first Orcas we actually rolled out, which was kind of sad to see it go away. But yeah, that was a mistake that I was actually more upset about that loss than Charizard was. And I had to calm myself down again it took me for about 2-3 hours.
Yeah, no ship sails forever. I'm glad that one comes with a story though. That's rad. Okay, Rambo.
Char's on medication.
Yeah, there was just a lot of people. There's a lot of people asking about what is, or to ask Bunker, what is STFU? The STFU movement.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
I know that.
Up. So, okay. So our CEO Rakdat is quite a character. He has this really dark, deep, rich voice, right? I mean, it melts your soul. Every time he comes up on voice chat, or when he's like FCing, it's a really deep, voice, right? But sometimes he would. What's that?
Like Obsidian Ant or someone like that, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's like our version of Nox. I would put it that way.
Cool.
So so, but once in a while he would say, something really ridiculous. And everybody knows he's messing around, but he would just play stupid and on voice chat. And at some point, everybody just started to say, "Shut the fuck up, Rakdat." And then I think that's when I started, let's start this movement called Shut the Fuck Up Rakdat. So I put a hashtag in front of that. And so every time we would see Rakdat, it would say, "Shut the fuck up, Rakdat." And then this would become a little game where between Rakdat and myself, it's kind of a ridiculous, stupid, silly game where, the first one who would say "Shut the fuck up, Rakdat" or "Shut the fuck up, Boots" to each other, then they would win the Shut the fuck up competition for the day. So you would see me on voice comms on our Discord, and Rakdat would come in, and then the first person has to say "Shut the fuck up" before the other person does, and we would ambush each other. We still do this. It's stupid. We still do this. He ambushed me like 2 days ago because I'm on voice comms first, and I don't necessarily see who logs in on voice comms. So I've been on the losing streak for the past couple of weeks.
I found
this is amazing. You guys do
weakness.
sound like a whole bunch of yeah, exactly. You guys do sound like a whole bunch of baboons flinging your shit at one another constantly in voice and on chat. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, if I were to share one more story about the origins of baboons, it was back in the days of GHA, and
RIP.
We were used to just RIP, right? We were just used to basically messing around with each other on voice comms whenever we have we go after dead space anomalies. We form up fleets. We call primary and secondary targets, and we would just have laughs, endless laughs, no comms discipline whatsoever. So by the time we actually joined a GHA CTA, we really didn't know better. So chaos ensued, and I can't remember, Greg. I don't know. I can't remember who the FC was at the time. I can't remember his name. He was one of the more serious ones, if you say. He was very serious about. He was very, very serious about everything.
Wow, the Norwegian
guy. I can't remember.
The Norwegian. Ooh, that's an epic name for like an assassin or something.
Yeah.
The truck driver.
Norwegian.
Can't remember, but basically this guy comes on comms. He goes, check. Everybody shut the fuck up. You guys are just basically, this is a CTA. You have no comms discipline. You guys sound like a whole bunch of baboons. Rebel. Idea. So the next CTA, Greg comes on comms. I was like, check. Hello, my name is Gregory Hurst. I'm CEO of HTP. We would just like to, in light of what was the comments that were shared in the last CTA, we apologize for the poor comms discipline, and in the spirit of cooperation, we would like to share the new war cry of HTP. And then we had agreed that everybody from HTP was on voice comms would basically make monkey sounds.
Oh, God.
So we were on voice comms saying, all 15, 16 of us. And,
the legend is born.
The legend was born.
That's amazing.
That's how we became baboons.
Glorious. I love it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember those days.
Horrible days.
Early days.
RIP GHA.
Early days. That was before Evil Darkness stepped foot in there. Or somebody who put that. Wasn't Gregory elected into the council and lasted like 2 days? And then GHA broke up.
He went down with the sinking ship.
He did.
But we got to give him credit for that. He stuck it out until the end.
Nice.
That's pretty good, Charlie. They found out Greg cannot type, but you also can't type either. There you go. You changed it. That's hilarious.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. We've had a 2-hour episode. So it's gone quite long.
Yeah.
And Bunker Boots and Zen, I very much appreciate you guys coming on the show and talking with us today. And you're welcome back at any time.
Thank you very much, Rambo, for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to all the HTP guys for being so active in our chat tonight. On-air chat was
off the chain.
Lit. It was definitely lit tonight. It's always a good time. It's part of what we do as far as the community goes. So please, make sure you join in the on-air chat. And the HTP guys, please come back. You're awesome to have in the chat with us. So
yeah, come on down to talk too for the after party.
We always have talk afterwards. Yep.
There's always the after party, right? And we'll be doing that here shortly. And from here, we'll close it out. Crimson, Taylor, you guys got anything else you want to add?
No?
Expect articles to be pretty sparse the next few weeks. I'm going to be traveling soon, and I think we've got some other projects going on. I'm going to try and focus in the next event. So that's it.
Cool. Yep.
I'm always on the road every week, but I'll have another short on Monday or Tuesday. It always depends on what's going on, whether or not I drop it on Monday or Tuesday. But there's a couple of more of those in the can coming up, so we'll see those. And we got football starting here soon. So if anybody wants to join my fantasy football league, I am in it. Santiago is in it. There's a few other guys that are going to be in it that are from over New Eden. I know nobody cares, but it's there. It's a thing. So hit me up if you want to be part of it.
Give us some stats.
Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining this show. We had quite the crowd tonight. Everybody, thank you. And, keep giving us voicemails and showing up for the on-air chat and all that stuff. We really appreciate it. And it makes for a good time. So thank you all. We will be cooking up our next game show. Hopefully, we'll have that decision by next Thursday. And then between then and now, we'll catch you later. 07.
See ya. I'm going to open. This is Echoes from the Back.
This is Echoes After Dark. I'm your host, Taylor Rick.
There it is. Yes.
And the line is open. Let us know what your problems are and your fantasies.
That's right.
We want to know your deepest fantasies.
Message.
Yeah.
All right. I'm legit.
Give us a call.
I'm legit press and play. All right.
Do it.